Let me just go. Okay. Okay.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Nick Fong and I'm from TBN Asia. Today is another exciting day for me because I have an opportunity to talk and to have a conversation with Nalina Hussein, a co-founder of Inspiracom in Malaysia. Hello, Nalina.
Hi, Nick. How are
Yeah,
you?
I'm looking forward to our chat today. How are you? I'm very, very good.
Yes, yes.
You
Good,
know,
good.
Good. Let me just maybe hand over the time to you to start. Maybe you can start by introducing yourself and your role in this organization. Over to you.
Okay, thanks, Nick. Hi, everyone. I'm Norlina. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Inspiracom and also the founder. I'm a consultant and a trainer. So what we do, my role is I help business B2B, so other companies and organizations to plan, deliver, and measure impactful CSR programs for community, but we focus a lot on life skills education.
Mm,
Um, Another part is that we want to encourage a lot of companies, especially in Malaysia, to be more committed in long-term programs as opposed to one-off short-term programs. So on another role, I'm also a coach for life skills education. We use the growth mindset methodology to instill life skills in underprivileged children so that they are future ready. So these are children who lack opportunities, who come from poor families. They don't go for tuition classes. They don't have opportunities for enrichment classes.
mm, nice, thanks. So if I'm hearing you correctly, there's a little bit about B2B, and that was CSR kind of related. And then there was also a part where it's about young people and the
Correct.
whole idea of growth mindset and their future. Uh, just spending some time there for a while. You said I think I read from your website you set up this Inspiracom with your husband. Maybe can tell us a little bit about what was it that you saw that told you that it maybe inspired you guys to what we're going to do this, because you guys, I think from
Okay.
your background it looks as though you were working in corporate and so on and so forth. So what was it that you saw that you think that okay, there's an opportunity here to set up Inspiracom? Yeah.
Okay, let me share with you, Nick, our story. Yeah.
Mm,
So I have my husband and we have a combined of 50 years of working experience in the corporate.
mm,
And my last position was working in international schools. So I've
mm,
seen how the facilities, the education system for privileged children. And sometimes I always feel like, wow, how nice if I can send my kids to an international school, you know. Um, having said that, we all know that there are a lot of weaknesses in our Malaysian education system,
mm,
and all of us, my husband and I, we have gone through that. So we realized that every time before there's an exam, a national exam, for 12 years old. At that time, they had the UPSR exam or the PT3, the 15-year-old exam, national exam. There's always like a month before, there's always motivational classes, extra classes, and things like that. So the students become very pressured. They
mm,
become like, exams coming out, we need to study, we need to do this, we need to do that, and stuff like that. So that was how the whole scenario was. And what we did was we wanted to see how we can contribute. What I did with my husband was we went to an indigenous school, primary school, and we volunteered on a weekly basis for 2 hours to teach slow learner students how to read and write in English and Malay languages. Then we realized that, these kids, sometimes they come to school, sometimes they don't come to school. And then we started to know that, dropout rates are very high in these indigenous children. And
mm,
it's very different from us, from middle income families, whereby, we are like, oh, we always tell our children that every day you have to go to school. going to school is a top priority, but then we realized that for some communities it's not a top priority due to poverty, due to they don't have money for their kids transportation, their kids meals, school supplies, school uniform, and things like that. So then my husband and I decided to dig deeper in ourselves. For us who had gone through the national system, what was it that we felt was lacking? So we
Mm,
zoom into life skills education. We don't touch on academic because we feel that if the child is facing a lot of challenge to even wake up to go to school, let's not talk about academic yet, right?
mm,
So we want to motivate the kids to enjoy learning. So
mm,
from there, we combine how our working experiences or even parenting. We have 3 children, 4, 14, and 20 years old. So we wanted to see how what we do with our children, that we can help other children, especially in the underprivileged communities. So that was basically how things started.
mm,
So we started our company Inspiracom in 2016 in December, but we started off as a content provider. We publish online magazines, and unfortunately, because lack of knowledge and experience, we were unable to monetize that business. So we decided, after we embarked on the voluntary journey, we decided to pivot our business to a social enterprise in 2018.
mm,
And when I was trying to develop the modules for the kids, right, I suddenly remember my childhood. Last time when I was young, um, teachers used to tell me, "Oh, you're not smart enough, you're not
mm,
good enough, you're not going to succeed in the future. You talk too much in class," and things like that. And I know that today the children are experiencing that as well. So that's why we did a lot of research on the growth mindset methodology, and we want to share that,
mm,
impart that with other children, because in
mm,
schools it's like very memorizing. It's very structured, like, okay, you have to memorize, you go for your exam and things like that. So there's no growth mindset element,
mm,
and things like that. So that's where we decided to focus more on just life skills education.
mm. So
Mm.
you're talking about life skills. You talk a little bit about this growth mindset. You also talk about motivation. Are those like the examples of what you guys say on your website? There was this term called tackling today's learning crisis. You all use that word.
Okay.
Are these
Okay.
examples of the learning crisis, or is there more than that?
Okay. So today's learning crisis actually came out. We upgraded our website, and that was actually, we saw the problem became bigger post
Mm,
pandemic, because
mm,
when we were working with indigenous children, we realized that pre-pandemic, the low school attendance, the low rates in school attendance, and high dropout rates were very much in the indigenous communities,
mm,
whereas other communities, school was still okay. Things were going as usual. They have tuition.
mm,
There are a lot of corporates who contributed in university students, teaching academic, focusing on tuition classes and things like that. But when the pandemic hit, due to school closures, and poverty, income level, a lot of parents lost their jobs and things like that, we realized that the learning crisis, the gap has widened. So
mm,
low school attendance and dropout rates does not only affect the indigenous children, but it has grown bigger to other urban and rural poor as well,
mm,
because of financial constraints. So that's why many children has experienced learning loss due to school closures, and also because of the COVID, and how it affected others.
mm,
And the other thing was, which I would like to mention, is that exams have been abolished. Like, for example, are the 12-year-olds, the UPSR, and the 15-year-olds PT3 exam has been abolished. So it's only SPM.
mm,
So the other side to it is that some parents did, debate, like, oh, why are we always focusing on exams? Yes, that's one thing. But then because that we have been so um so focused on exams, right? When the exams have been abolished, so there's this mindset and mentality like, okay, so why do I have to go to school then? Like the priority has changed. Like, oh, I don't have to go to school. I can just stay at home. I'll go to school tomorrow. So the learning loss in that sense is different, but it has grown wider. So then we realized that, so now what the Ministry of Education is trying to encourage is, as long as the students attend school, that's good enough for them.
Which sometimes may not be enough, right? Because attendance is just one part only. Yeah, correct.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, you can feel free to take some water if you need to, but continue, right? So actually, you've been working with these children for quite a while, and I think you mentioned the indigenous children, and then maybe now you've also, over the pandemic, you've seen the children from maybe the lower income families. What surprised you about them? What surprised you about them?
Okay, some of them who live in the rural areas, they don't have role models. Because going back to your question earlier about motivation, life skills, we also do a lot of programs on IT, digital literacy, where we teach the kids on how to use Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, how to create your own timetable, home timetable, using Excel. We realized that they lack home supervision by their parents, because their parents are busy working. And coming back to this is that they see their parents as their role models. And some of the parents work as security guards, cashiers. So that's all they see in terms of occupation. Sorry. So can we stop the recording for a while?
Sure.
Sorry,
Yeah, Norlina, just quick question about this. You've been working with the children, you mentioned indigenous children, and then also in the last few years, maybe the children from lower income families. What really surprised you? Has anything surprised you about them?
Okay. What we discovered in our programs is that we did a lot of motivation modules, life skills. We also do IT literacy, where we teach the kids on how to use Microsoft, Excel, and PowerPoint. How to, simple things like how to create your own timetable, for home use, because we feel that they lack parent supervision at home. Parents are busy working. Some are taxi drivers, they are lorry drivers and things like that. So another thing is that when we did a session with them on their ambition, we asked them, what's your ambition? They don't have role models, or maybe they look up to their parents, but their parents, their ambitions are security guards, cashiers. So they are confined in terms of their mindset, in terms of their exposure. So what we do differently in our programs is that we organize field trips for them. We take them to a police station, fire station. We take them to even to visit a university, to see the environment. How a university is like, what is there. We actually managed to take them to a faculty, forensic faculty, so they got to learn things there. The reason why we did this is that even like police station, police, fire, it's not just to go and see how the place is or how nice it is and stuff, but we wanted them to understand, if you want to be a police officer or a fireman, what are the disciplines that you need to have? Of course, number one, you need to complete school, and then you need to be hardworking, you need to be disciplined, you need to be tidy. So these were the skills that we wanted them to see, because we noticed that they only see things which are familiar to them, which is the the security guards, the cleaners, and stuff like that. But of course, we want them to, for them to be motivated, we wanted them to see something that, if you study hard and you at least you complete your school education until Form 5, you can actually achieve many other things out there. you know. So that's one. The other thing is also what surprised me is that we work closely with the school community. We don't focus on academics, but we want our programs to complement the schools or what the teachers are doing. So sometimes they share with us their school results. And let me tell you what hit me, my turning point was that their results were like 10%, 12%, 15% for school exams. And I was shocked because my kids don't get that kind of results, you know, they don't bring home that kind of results. So when I look at them, I felt really pitiful because we can't really blame them because they don't have help, right? Like in terms of tuition classes and stuff like that. So that made me like, you know, I was feeling like, oh, we need to help them more. We need to get more support, so that even if they improve, like for example, if they get 11% today, and then for their midterm exam, they get more like 18% or 20%, to me, that is already a progress. And when they feel that they are doing better, somehow their body language, the way they talk, it changes, you know. Instead of like, oh, I'm useless, I'm no good, I'm this, they become very different when they talk to you. They're more confident. They want to come to school. We realize that, you know, the attendance for our sessions become better and things like that. So that was really a turning point for me.
Good. So, you know, we spent quite a bit of time talking a little bit of quite a bit on the children and the youth and the work with them. How does the B2B come in? Is there any link to the programming?
Okay.
Or yeah?
Okay, so for all our programs, sorry. Oh, sorry. Okay. So for all our programs, we don't just get funding, or we don't focus a lot on fundraising or grants. As CSR consultants, in Malaysia is a bit different. Public listed companies or businesses for profit, it is a mandate by the government under KL Stock Exchange that they need to allocate some money for CSR initiatives, and they have to annually share their sustainability reports. So for my husband and I, coming from the corporate communications background, we understand what they needed. So what we do is, in order to support our educational programs, we approach corporate communications professionals and those who are interested to run a social community project. But they, because they have so many other projects to handle under the ESG, environment, social and governance. This is under UN SDG, Sustainable Development Goal, as well as the Shared Prosperity Vision for Malaysia to achieve the 2030 goals. So they don't have enough time. They don't have enough resources and manpower to go down to the ground to organize an educational program, to liaise with the communities, you know, for community engagement and things like that. So this is where, as consultants, we step in. So we advise the clients what to do, how to do it, who that we need to approach, the beneficiaries. We need to get approvals from the Ministry of Education for a third party to enter schools or even to work with the children and things like that. So that was our main role with the corporates. So under their CSR budget, they will engage us, our services, and we are also the coach for the children. So it's like an end-to-end service package whereby they hire us to help them implement. And there are even some clients who ask us to prepare their sustainability reports for them. You know, so that for our particular project only, so that it's easy for them to compile everything for them. So they engage our services. So that's what we do. And one thing they are comfortable with us is because we run, as consultants, we run our own programs. So we can constantly feedback to them in terms of reporting, in terms of the measurement, the theory of change and stuff like that. Instead of hiring 2-3 different parties, like, CSR consultant, and then I have to engage another NGO or another party to implement the program. So that was what we realized, that the clients were comfortable with us, and once they are comfortable with us, they engage us on a yearly basis, and we are working with one client whereby they wanted to help the indigenous children. So we've worked with the same group of children from Form 1, 13 years old, until this year they are 15 years old. So for 3 years consecutively are the same group of children, because we the main objective is we want them to stay in school until they finish Form 5.
Okay, understand.
Yeah.
Cool. Keeping in mind that we have about 5 minutes left, I just want to ask you the next thing. I guess what's next for and what's on the horizon for Inspiracom, and more importantly, what sort of support are you guys looking for?
Okay. We have set our target that we want to impact about 5,000 young people by 2030. So since we started in 2018 until 2021, we have impacted over 1,000 children and youth as well. Because university students also, we do a lot of talks on social entrepreneurship. Now universities, they do a lot of community service. They want to encourage the younger people to be involved in community service. So we engage the university students as our facilitators, or even giving them hands-on experience. So we have impacted over 1,000 young people since 2018 to 2021. This year, after everything has gone back to normal, we have managed to impact about 250 students, but we hope on a yearly basis we can impact about 500 young people. In terms of moving forward, support we need is, I think we would like to get support on business coaching from a social enterprise perspective, to make it more solid, and also to be able to connect with more clients. It can be corporate or organizations, foundations, or even any funders and things like that. So because we feel that if we get more clients, we are able to undertake more projects and impact more, to be able to achieve our target, right, with the young people, then we are able to scale up better.
Right. So more clients would help to, it's like the B2B side that allows you to have the funds to be able to impact more and more children and youth, so that you can hit your target. The thing about the business coaching that you mentioned, that's more business coaching for Inspiracom, your team itself. Okay, I get that. That's very good. So lastly, just to close, where can people follow you guys or find out what's going on and keep track of what you guys are doing? What's the best way for them to do that?
Okay, so you can reach us at LinkedIn, because we are very, very active on LinkedIn. Inspiracom, or you can reach out to me, Norlina Hussein, or my husband, Rashid Mat. And we are on Facebook, Inspiracom, Facebook, IG, or even our website, www.inspiracom.asia. You can reach us there. We would like your support to see more happy children, independent, creative communicators, and also lifelong learners. Nick, cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, Norlina, and have a good day.
Thank you, Nick. Bye.
Bye.